Hi, I am Off from Chukudi, and I welcome you to this interesting physical and health education class. Today, we'll be discussing the theme, Basic Human Anatomy and Physiology in relation to physical activities, and our topic of interest is the skeletal system. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe the skeletal system and list its functions. All parts of the human body play important roles necessary for our survival, and the skeletal system is no exception. All systems of the body are unique in different ways, and there exists no substitute system to carry out the function of each. Without the skeletal system, movement, shape, form, and the functions of other body systems may be impossible. For that reason, let's dive deep into the skeletal system. The human skeletal system, also referred to as the human skeleton, is defined as the internal framework of the body. It is a collection of bones, associated tissues, and joints working together to provide support, protection, and movement in the body. It is important to note that the term skeleton refers to any part of the body of a living organism, be it a mammal, insect, bird, or worm, that provides structural support for it. So, when the term skeleton is applied to humans, it refers to the skeletal system, which we identified earlier as the framework of the body. The human skeletal system is made of different components. These components come together to collectively form the skeletal system, and they are the bones, joints, ligaments, cartilages, and tendons. While the joints, cartilages, tendons, and ligaments are parts of the skeletal system, the bones stand out as the predominant component of the skeletal system. Thus, the skeletal system may sometimes be referred to as the bony framework of the body. Let's talk briefly about these components of the skeletal system. First, let's talk about the bone. A bone is a highly calcified, rigid structure that makes part of the human skeletal system. As identified earlier, it is the predominant component of the human skeletal system. They come in different shapes and sizes and can be found in almost all parts of the body. Irrespective of their size and shape, they carry out important functions necessary for our survival, which includes supporting the structure of the body, protecting internal organs, facilitating movement, storing minerals, and producing blood cells. Now, let's talk about the joints. A joint, also referred to as an articulation, is a location where two or more bones are connected. Joints exist for the following reasons. 1. To allow for different levels of movement in the human body. Secondly, they connect all bones of the skeletal system in the body as a single unit. And finally, they ensure stability between bones. There are three common types of joints in the human body, namely the freely movable joints, slightly movable joints, and immovable joints. We'll talk more about that in the later part of this lesson. Now let's talk about another component of the skeletal system, which is the cartilage. A cartilage is a semi-rigid tissue that provides flexibility, support, and cushioning of adjacent bones. Compared to bones, cartilages are not as hard and are made up of different types of cells, and they do not have a blood supply. They perform important functions in the human body, which includes cushioning of bones to prevent damage to bones in a joint. They also act as a precursor to the formation of bones. That means most bones do not begin as bones, but they start as cartilages. We find cartilages in different parts of the body where support, structure, and flexibility are needed. For example, the ears, in joints, and in the nose. There are three common types of cartilages that are found in the human body, and they are the hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage, and elastic cartilage. We'll not talk further about cartilages. Let's move forward to the next component of interest, which are the ligaments. Ligaments are tough, short, and elastic tissues that connect bones to bones. They are commonly found in different joints. They carry out several functions such as connecting bones to bones, giving support to the joints, and regulating the range of movements possible in each joint. And finally, let's talk about tendons. Tendons are like ligaments, but the difference is that they connect bones to muscles. Tendons are cord-like tissues that connect bones to muscles. They are like ligaments, but differ in function. Unlike ligaments that connect bones to bones, the tendons connect bones to muscles. Tendons exist for the following reasons. 1. To connect bones to muscles, and secondly, they contribute to motion by providing stability. Having discussed about the different components of the skeletal system, now let's talk about the functions of the skeletal system. The human skeletal system performs the following functions, namely, they provide support, contribute to movement, protect organs, produces blood cells, and stores minerals. Let's talk about these functions briefly. First, the human skeletal system provides support. This is so because the skeletal system with its components is responsible for giving the body a definite shape. Also, as identified earlier, the skeletal system serves as the body's framework. In fact, the overall weight of the body and all internal organs and tissues all rest on the skeletal system. Secondly, the skeletal system contributes to movement. This is achieved when the skeletal system, along with the muscular system, come together to move bones. The movement of bones by the muscular system is made possible by special tissues attached to the bone, which we identified as tendons. When tendons pull on a bone, this results to some level of movement in the body. Next, the skeletal system protects organs of the body. Most vital organs of the body are all protected by bones and other tissues of the skeletal system. Common examples include the heart, the brain, and the kidney. The protection offered by the skeletal system helps prevent damage and injury to these vital organs. Another function of the skeletal system is the production of blood cells, a process referred to as hematopoiesis. The production of blood cells occur in the bone marrow of long bones. And finally, another important function of the skeletal system is the storage of minerals. Some important minerals necessary for the function of the body are stored by organs and tissues of the skeletal system. And common examples of such minerals include calcium and iron. This brings us to the end of this class. But before we go, let's take a quick review of what we've learned so far. First, we learned that the human skeletal system, also known as the human skeleton, is defined as the internal framework of the body. Secondly, we learned that the skeletal system is made of bones, joints, ligaments, cartilages, and tendons, working together to provide support, protection, and aid movement in the body. So, how well can you remember what we've learned so far? Let's test ourselves with these few questions. Question 1. Which of these statements is true of the skeletal system? Option A. The bone is the only important component. B. The tendons attach bones to bones. C. The bone is a predominant component. Or D. The ligaments and tendons are the same. The correct answer is option C. The bone is a predominant component of the human skeletal system. Question 2. Which of the following is not a function of the skeletal system? Is it A. Structural support, B. Movement facilitation, C. Inhibit locomotion, or D. hematopoiesis. The correct answer is option C, inhibit locomotion. The skeletal system do not exist to inhibit locomotion. Instead, it enhances locomotion. That will be all for now. I hope by now you can describe the skeletal system and list its functions. We'll meet in my next class. Bye for now.